We got some big news from Tidal that I just found out about today. Will Apple Music, will Amazon Music destroy Tidal? I sure hope not. I want to talk about a quick history of Tidal, why they are positioning themselves to be a major competitor to Apple Music and Amazon Music, kind of, and how in many senses they're ahead of the game, especially when it comes to audiophiles. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, maybe out of your cheap Audioman coffee mug, which is linked in the description, and let's talk about why Tidal, even though they're facing juggernauts like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, I think is gonna be all right. Tidal was launched in October of 2014 in Norway by a company called Aspiro. They focused on digital music, and Tidal was available in some Scandinavian countries. However, it got interesting in 2015 when Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, purchased Tidal for $56 million. That's right, in March of 2015. He wanted to reshape Tidal into being a more artist-friendly music service by paying artists more, and he also wanted to prioritize audio quality. And at the time, Tidal was one of the few music services that was actually prioritizing lossless music streaming. The service was kind of relaunched March 30th of 2015 with stars like Beyonce, Rihanna, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, and other people. Some of the things they did was exclusive album launch. I can never say album launches. Beyonce's Lemonade was launched exclusively on Tidal. Kanye West, The Life of Pablo, and all of Prince's last few albums were released exclusively on Tidal. And that strategy had mixed results. They also faced a bit of scrutiny over their streaming numbers, particularly concerning the reported streams of albums like The Life of Pablo. There's also lawsuits and investigations regarding manipulating streaming figures. Say it isn't so. But in 2021, Jack Dorsey's Square Inc., you know, Square as in like the payment place, acquired a majority stake in Tidal. And Square, I did a little research with Square Inc. Almost all the companies that Square Inc. owns are financial related, payment related, like some of it is Bitcoin related, but they have Tidal. And then they also have a company called Hi-Fi. That's what the company's called. More recent acquisition, Hi-Fi is a financial rights organization for artists offering services to track royalty income and provide advances on royalties. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Quick rundown of some of the other companies that Square Inc. owns: Square, Cash App, Afterpay, Spiral, TBD, an initiative aimed at building an open source developer platform for decentralized financial services with a focus on Bitcoin. Okay, BitKey, Tidal, and then Hi-Fi. Kind of a weird mix. If we look at the pricing structures of different music streaming services, and I'm going to throw Spotify in there as well as YouTube Music, because even though they're not a lossless streaming platform, they still offer streaming services, mostly for the normies, or not normies, or audiophiles. And it's interesting because Tidal's subscription prices have really changed over the years. When it was first released, it was $19.99 a month for the highest tier of streaming service, which meant the most high fidelity of streaming services. However, that included MQA. Now, Tidal has moved away from MQA. MQA was basically a compression algorithm that supposedly was lossless, even though it was a compression algorithm. That's a whole nother video. There's a great video done that kind of opened up the hood under MQA and proved that it was not indeed lossless, but that's neither here nor there. Right now, a Tidal individual membership is $10.99 a month. Includes access to 110 million tracks. Tidal Family is priced at $16.99 a month, which is crazy because the Tidal Family plan before was about $35 a month, and that includes 6 family members. And they're a little bit liberal with what they consider to be family. You don't need to be all in the same household, which is a good thing. If 6 of your friends want to get together, call yourself a family, then you can get fairly cheap subscription at this point for less than $3 a month. They also have a Tidal student plan at $5.49 a month. And they have a DJ extension. You can add $9 per month on top of any Tidal subscription, and it provides access to Tidal's integrations with DJ platforms. The takeaway is that Tidal subscription prices have come down significantly. There also used to be a hi-fi tier, a regular tier, and a free tier. Free tier is gone, hi-fi and regular tier together. So a simplified subscription plan, which I like. Spotify pricing for a family plan is $19.99. Apple Music is $16.99. Amazon Music Unlimited is $19.99. Amazon Music used to be the cheapest. YouTube Music is $22.99. And Qobuz is $22 per month. So Tidal's gone from the most expensive music streaming service to one of the most affordable music streaming services, especially when it comes to family plans. Hardware integration. Now this is mostly important for audiophiles like us. So when we talk about hardware integration, I'm talking about Tidal integration into streamers or integrated amplifiers with streaming features. Tidal probably has been the most consistent streaming service when it comes to ease of integration. Tidal and Qobuz are the only two music streaming services that interact and interface with Roon. If you don't know about Roon, Roon is owned by Harman, which is owned by Samsung, and it's kind of a music discovery algorithm, and it also gives you an ability to integrate your own digital music, and it's just a crazy database for really music nerds to do deep dives into their favorite music. But companies like Apple Music and Amazon Music have been slow to get on board with independent hardware companies, especially Apple Music. And right now, the only platforms that you can really get lossless Apple Music, bit perfect Apple Music, is on some of these Android-based streamers, something like an Eversolo DMP A6, some of the FIO streamers, basically the streamers that have an Android phone as the brain of the streamer. I don't love that, but if you're a big Apple Music fan, there are options out there. Amazon Music is a little bit less difficult to deal with than Apple Music when it comes to integration into streamers, but some big companies like Cambridge Audio is just now getting to integrate Amazon Music into their streaming platforms. Where Tidal has been available for a long time, and there's also a feature called Tidal Connect, which means you can use the app on your phone or your iPad or tablet to act as a remote control, and you don't ever have to get into the actual streaming app. You can just work off of your Tidal app, which some people really like, because generally the Amazon Music app or the Apple Music app or the Tidal app is a little bit less clunky than the streamers app. Back in that bag again. Whoa. The 800-pound gorilla is Spotify, and Spotify really is the only true independent out there. But Spotify is kind of like the Netflix of music and podcast. And they've also been teasing their lossless music tier for, 5 years at this point? Will it ever come? Probably. But Tidal has been doing it for 10 years already. Tidal is not truly independent, but they are semi-independent. And with the consolidation of their membership tiers, they're now in a better, more competitive position than they've ever been. And the real important thing is that Tidal doesn't need to beat Amazon Music or Apple Music or Spotify. Frankly, they don't really even need to compete with them. Because if they can just keep the audiophile business and maybe gain a little market share from Apple Music here, a little market share from Amazon Music here, maybe YouTube Music, then they're going to continue to survive. And I would be surprised if Tidal isn't purchased by a company like a Harman, because it's probably easier for Harman to buy Tidal than it is for them to make their own music service. They already bought Roon. Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music are really there for convenience sake. And while I'm sure there's very capable people running those divisions, it's not their sole purpose. Tidal, The sole purpose is to provide awesome music, and they still do care about the artist because, as per my research, Tidal is one of the highest paying music services out there as far as royalties to the artists. I find myself listening to Tidal a lot more lately, and I think if you're an audiophile and if you care about the music, you should at least check them out. They were owned by musicians. They've always cared about musical fidelity. Their pricing is back in line. They're easy to work with when it comes to hardware integration, and they pay the artists more. What's not to like? Check out Tidal. There's a link in the description. You can click on it. It may be an affiliate link. I can't remember. They've changed things quite a bit. If you liked this video, check out my video about streamers if you want to get into digital music streaming, which I think everybody should because it's less expensive to subscribe to a music service than it is to buy a CD each month. And you get access to like all of the music ever recorded. I will link that right here. If you want to buy a coffee mug, it'll be linked in the description. You can also check out my Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman, best hi-fi community in the world. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.